Hi, and thank you for listening. This is Sherry Andrea, and I'm glad you could join me. This is just going to be a short video. I know sometimes the videos are kind of long, but we're just going to do a short one because this is just for the purpose of explaining something new called Channeled Insights. I figured it would be better for me instead of just explaining it on my website and on my scheduler if I did a video going into just slightly more detail so that you can kind of understand. Um, okay, so the reason for this video is because I'm making certain changes to what I'm offering. And for the longest time, I've been offering psychic readings. And basically, that's what they were called, psychic readings. However, as many of you know who have had that service and who have had psychic readings from me, although many of you have, you've described my psychic readings as saying things like, oh, but I always, I felt you were the guru of psychic readings, or the insight you gave was so good, or I was amazed at how things that you said like came true even when I didn't even think it was possible for what you were saying to end up being true. Um, you you've given me a lot of credit, and I appreciate it. You've made me feel really good with the feedback you've given me. It's not that I don't want to do psychic readings anymore. It's just that I hope many of you can understand that when I started out, I wasn't a psychic reader. I was never a psychic reader. I was always this person whose main focus was spiritual work. And the reason why I was able to do what I did as far as psychic readings was because of the advancements that I reached when it came to my spiritual development. I ended up being able to tap into something and to tap into a level that allowed me to pull this information from my higher self. And because of how I merged with my higher self, it became easy for me to communicate and get information from my higher self to then be able to give to someone. But was I ever really a psychic or a psychic reader? No, I wasn't. And I actually think, I hate the labels, and I actually think that for many of us, labels limit us because I would say, no, I was so much more than a psychic reader. I had so much more to offer than just your typical psychic reading that you get from someone. In the beginning, I tried to explain it as, oh, this is what, as a psychic reader, this is what makes me different. This is why maybe you'd want to get a psychic reading from me. Um, but the reality is that I really have this urge to get back to where I was at, to get back to where I started and what I my intention was to do and what my purpose was. I still remember that first time I went on somebody's show and was interviewed. I'm trying to remember her name. I'll remember it, but off the top of my head, I can't. But I remember going on the show, and she was a psychic and a medium, I believe. And I remember after a half an hour of being interviewed on the show, she said, oh, okay, at this point in the show, we take psychic readings. So, let's do this. And I was kind of caught off guard. But I remember I just kind of went with the flow and I just let it happen. And yeah, I was kind of amazed that it just happened. And that's how it all started for me, quite by accident. And then when I started my radio show, again, it just happened. I had my first radio show, and there I was talking about a specific topic, and people started calling in, and they just started asking questions, and I just started answering. It happened quite by accident, but I was never really a psychic. I just had the ability to do that. I had the ability to get information, and at a deeper level than some people can. Um, so don't think of it as Sherry's not doing psychic readings anymore. No, I'm kind of getting back to where I originally wanted to be, which is channeled insights. It's a combination, and it's actually, to be fair, it's no different than what I was doing. I know you're going, okay, so basically what you're saying is you're just changing the name of it, but you're doing the same thing. Not quite, and I will explain. Okay, so you basically, by getting channeled insights, you're still, to you, it may seem to you like you're still getting the same thing that you were before, but now we're letting go of that format, and that's the word I want to use. That's the word I want to throw out there. We're letting go of a format. Psychic readings, when people hear that term, they think of, okay, for a period of time, I'm going to ask questions, she's going to answer, and that's the format. No, I'm letting go of the format, which is what I wanted to do all along. And in many of my readings, I do that. And many of you have noticed that. Is that I will, when it's necessary, I will deviate from the format when it's necessary. When we come to that little bump where I'm like, oh, okay, hold on. We need to discuss maybe what you just said or your perspective that you have before I can continue on with the answering of questions. So, channeled insights is me still channeling my higher self, but it's also geared towards giving you what you need, what your higher self wants you to have. Maybe even I could say what your soul needs. What I am picking up and being guided to give you that you are ready for. And doing it in a way that moves you forward. Regardless of whether you are, say, for example, somebody who's not into working on spiritual development and working on metaphysics, even if you are just somebody who is just trying to live life and just trying to live and enjoy the best life you can, even if that's you, there are things that your higher self is going to want you to know. There's guidance your higher self's going to want to give you so that you can be your best possible self, so that you can also achieve the goals and the dreams that you have. So, channeled insights, don't think, oh, she's not doing psychic readings anymore. No. We're letting go of something that is old and that I feel like should be let go by many of us. this format, this old format of the psychic reading. There is so much more most psychic readers have to give and have to offer you, if you'll allow it. And that is what I'm doing. So, what I will be doing is I will come up with something that will allow people to, maybe try channeled insights out, to be able to not only experience it, give their feedback so that others can see their feedback and get an idea of how it was for them and how it helped them. But this is me saying basically, if you come to my schedule and you're like, oh, okay, well, where's the psychic reading service? What do I order? Okay, it is going to, from now on, it's called Channeled Insights. It's just based on a different format where it's based on giving you what you need and not strictly just straight question answer. No. We are going to allow my higher self to finally help in a way she really hasn't been able to help. Where I am finally going to allow my higher self to help me to do what my path and my purpose is, and to really allow me to help people in the way I was supposed to, and in the way that's in everyone's best interest. So any feedback that you want to give me, if you're looking for where to schedule the channel insights, I am in the process of still setting it up, so bear with me. But the scheduler is at simplybook.me, sorry. And if you look down in the description, you'll see the link there. Now, don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and also, if you'd like to make a donation, the donations, they go to things like basically keeping me going so that I can keep coming back to you, keep offering help. Also, so that I can keep the cost of my services at a reasonable rate, so that it'll be affordable to the people who really need it, not just the people who can afford it. Thank you for listening and giving me your time and allowing me to explain this. As always, feel free to make comments as long as they're positive. I don't need any of this. That's demonic. You need Jesus. I don't need any of that, because I delete those, because I don't want the people that come along and that are going to be listening and reading, I don't want them to be distracted by something that's not helpful. If you have a helpful comment, or if you want to share an experience that you have or some insight, I'm all for it. But please keep in mind, make it positive, and think to yourself before you write that comment, is this something that's going to be helpful to people? And the comments of, this is bad, this is demonic, there's no such thing as psychics, it's not really helpful to people. And if you believe that, I've got to wonder, what are you doing listening to me? But anyway, I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will be back shortly. More videos are coming, so I'm really excited about that. Okay, namaste.